Hey guys, today's video is all about me giving you the best advice possible for caring for philodendron. Now, this video is going to include 7 crucial care tips or advice that I'm going to be sharing. Now, some of these you may be familiar with, however, I am going to be including some that should come as a bit of a surprise or some things that you just may not be as familiar with. Now, if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to comment down below. And these 7 things that I'm going to be sharing, 7 things you ought to know, aren't in any particular order. They haven't ordered these in terms of importance or anything like that. Basically, at the end of the day, these are 7 sort of crucial care tips for your philodendron that you should be doing no matter what. So philodendron come in all shapes and sizes, everything from my smaller Prince of Orange to my giant golden goddess philodendron. Now there are hundreds of varieties of philodendron. I think I have at least 10, if not more, different varieties of philodendron alone, let alone, you know, just here in my house. But I would definitely love some more. They are truly a favorite of mine, and they're really known for their beautiful foliage. Now this Prince of Orange has this beautiful orange leaves that come in and slowly over time turn to this nice, beautiful green color. All right guys, so like I alluded to, these plants are really known for and coveted for their beautiful foliage, and I think a lot of folks appreciate that they're pretty fast growing plants, which is great. And you know, some of these philodendron varieties are climbing or vining while others are not. So if you think of my giant burl marks, that is kind of like a non-vining or non-climbing variety of philodendron. Everything to, again, my golden goddess, which is climbing to the gods. Anyways, let's jump into the 7 different things that you ought to know. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm Tyler, and if you like what you're seeing or you find this video to be useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, or better yet, you can subscribe to my channel. Now, to really show me some love, click on the bell for alerts and notifications for future content. And oh yeah, don't forget to check out my merch store, tylermossop.com. All right guys, so when it comes to vining philodendron, if you provide your vining philodendron with the correct kind of support, like a trellis or a moss pole, what can actually happen is over time and as the plant matures, the leaves, a couple things will happen with that correct infrastructure and support in place, like the moss pole. Now, what I mean is the leaves can actually get a lot larger as they start to climb and mature. The other thing that you may notice, depending on the variety of philodendron, is that you can actually get some fenestrations in the leaves. So this is like a huge thing that's really good to know for vining philodendron. Now you can really see this start to happen on my golden goddess, like I described. So the lower leaves are smaller, and as you kind of go up the trellis or up the supports, you can see that the leaves become a lot larger. When it comes to potting and repotting your philodendron, there are a couple of things to keep in mind, and this brings me to my second point. Philodendron will most likely need to be repotted every year, and there are a few things that I want to highlight. So the first thing is you definitely want your pot or container to be slightly larger than the root ball of the plant. Some plants, houseplants, love to be super constrained. For philodendron, you want to make sure that the pot is actually just slightly larger than the root ball. Also, the springtime is the ideal time to repot your philodendron. And another key consideration when it comes to repotting is making sure that your container has drainage. That's really important. Now, actually, my next point can't be emphasized enough. And actually, I think this is something thing that we don't talk about enough. So this is how and when to fertilize your philodendron. So if you aren't fertilizing your philodendron, you could be at risk of slowing down that growth, and even the size of the leaves could kind of be smaller than they would be if you were fertilizing them regularly. So what does that look like? Now you're going to want to fertilize your philodendron with a well-balanced liquid diluted fertilizer, probably once a month during the growing season, that's the summer. Now during the winter and the non-growing season, you could probably slow that down to every other month or bi-monthly. Humidity can be a huge factor in whether or not your philodendron will flourish or fail. So not to be over dramatic, but humidity is really important, especially for philodendron, and that's why it's on this list. So humidity is a must. Now I recommend that you use a humidity level of anywhere from 60 to 65% humidity for your philodendron. If you're unsure of the humidity level, you can pick up a hygrometer for under $10 online, and that tells you the percentage of humidity you have in your air or in the vicinity of your philodendron, and this will help a ton. Now, what you choose to plant your philodendron in, that soil composition can also make all of the difference. So considering what components and ingredients to include in that soil mix is really critical. As far as philodendron go, what you would want to do ideally is provide kind of an aeroid type soil mix. Now what this means is a really drainable, breathable soil composition. So including things like bark, coco coir, peat moss, and that kind of thing will keep it sort of nice, light, and airy. If you're looking to repot a specific variety of philodendron, be sure to check out one of my repot videos where I include the exact or specific ratios of the different ingredients in that soil composition, and that can be super useful. So if you're repotting, for example, your Burl Marks or a Golden Goddess or Macaulay's Finale, any one of the sort of major popular philodendron, then be sure to check out one of those videos where I break down exactly what ratios I use in my soil composition. Now, the final couple of tips for your philodendron revolve around lighting and water. Now, these are obviously hugely important, and the best advice I can give you when it comes to light is really provide your philodendron with dapple light. That is hits of direct light and bits of shade. If you can't do that, then your next bet is really bright indirect light. Now, as far as watering goes, you should be watering your philodendron when the surface of that soil mix is dry to the touch. That is a really good sign to water your philodendron, a really good healthy watering.